What
you.
is your reaction to last night's results?
I think beyond the emphatic week of Syriza, I think the critical message here is that almost 90% of the new parliament will be made up of MPs that come from pro-reform parties. This is a completely new political landscape for Greece, and that can only bode well for the execution of the program going forward.
And there's some huge tasks facing the new government, and not least, of course, is the recapitalisation of the banking sector. Where are we in that process?
Now we're in the process of swiftly completing the comprehensive assessment by the ECB. That assessment will come up with the capital needs for the four systemic banks. We expect to get the results at some point around the end of October, and after that the banks will seek private money to cover that capital need. This is progressive, it's on track, and I don't see slippages in the program, so banks will start talking to their investors as soon as early October, I would have thought.
Well, the creditors have set aside 25 billion euros for recapitalisation. Some investors, including Wilbur Ross, have said that that is an overly conservative number. What's your take on it?
I would agree with that assessment. It is indeed an excessive amount of capital. And I believe that it was meant to be excessive so that we had sufficient money on the table to address all possible concerns, to restore confidence of depositors, to restore confidence of the funding markets, to allow the country to get out of the capital controls as soon as possible. But I think we need to strike a balance between the money that may have to be plugged into the banks and the money that has to be kept on the shelf or just in time to address any eventuality. It doesn't make sense for me to let the banks gorge into this taxpayers' money.
How much of that 25 billion will Piraeus be looking to draw down on?
I don't think it is prudent to try and preempt the results of the comprehensive assessment. I think the damage that has been caused by these first 7 months of political turmoil and the hiatus, it is modest and it can be addressed with really modest amounts of capital. I really hope that the comprehensive assessment supports this view.
I'd say a lot of people will be very surprised to hear that. I mean, you don't need to go very far to find businesses here in Greece that tell you honestly, look, we haven't been able to pay back our loans. That there are, we know, around 100 billion euros worth of non-performing loans on the books of Greece's banking sector. What's the number of non-performing loans on Greece's bank books?
It's about 28 billion euros, but this problem has been created over a period of 5 years. This problem has been subject of 3 independent assessments in the last 3 years, one every year. The last was carried only a year ago. Therefore, there's been a lot of done so far to address this problem. So what we're actually trying to address is the incremental problem that has been created in 2015 and predominantly post the imposition of capital controls. And all I'm saying is that it's a huge problem. Reserves have been created. Banks have been recapitalized 3 times. It's going to be the 4th time in reality. So the incremental amount may not be as big. The problem is big, but the incremental may be much less.
Once and if the recapitalisation happens, you're going to be hitting the road and talking to foreign investors. How on earth are you going to persuade them to invest in your bank?
I'll be hitting the road pretty soon, and I'll be talking to existing investors and new investors as soon as next week, practically. What I'm going to say that Greece is now moving out of a long period of political turmoil. We have a stable government. We have a stable political landscape. We have a massive support to the execution of this program. I would also tell them that this program is lighter than the ones we had to implement before, and it seems that it's very front-loaded, so by the time they will ask to put new money in the Greek banks, they will know that insufficient progress has been made towards meeting the targets of this program. And if we manage to keep together and coalesce around this program, I think this is going to be the last one, and country will start recovering pretty soon. Everybody is looking for a recovery as soon as second half of 2016. So this is not an opportunity to be missed.
Anthimos Thomopoulos, the CEO of Piraeus Bank, thank you very much for your time.